permission. So Abbas will be start recording this particular session. So which will be utilized later also. Like you can refer this. Those who are not able to attend the class, you can refer this particular recorded session and it can be utilized. So for that reason only, we have start recording from today whatever classes are there. So we will be giving a permission to one of the students to record on it. So since I'm using mobile, so I couldn't able to record it. That's why I gave the permission to the classroom. Like that, if some of the faculty members are given the permission to any one of the students, so kindly record that particular session, and then you can send through an email, or you can put it in Google Drive and share it to the concerned faculty members, so that later on which can be shared to the students, and they can also refer this particular session if you have any doubts or clarifications. Okay, so now straight away I'll move to the class. Okay, so continuation of from the previous class, I'm going to discuss. There are some more components of availability. Just to recollect whichever we discussed on the previous session. So we have seen what is availability, and we have seen about what are the components, and what are the interface, and as well as how the interface has been working, as well as we have discussed on event, as well as we discussed on event handling. And then one of the most important thing we have discussed about the dedication event model. And then we had a discussion on various we'll say uh, components which we start discussing on it. So there I stopped it. So you're all gone for the examination. So now you're after the examination. So we are starting with the next set of classes. So already we had a discussion on label. We have seen it, and we have seen about the button, and even we have seen about canvas, and we have seen about the scroll bars, and we had a discussion on. Uh, we need to discuss on text. So I'll start with this particular control. So text normally if you want to go for a let's say represent some textual contents on your graphical user interface, mainly it's used for interactive purpose, because the user will be interacting through this. So normally if you see that any of the forms, or if you try to give the feedback, or if you want to register yourself, so the text is the most prominent component which has been ever used in the market. So Java also has come up with a particular component which is being called as a text field, and where we have a class called text field class. So the text field class has four different types of constructors. So these are the four basically four different types of constructor. One is the without parameter, and the second one is with the single parameter, and third one is also again with a single parameter but the parameter type variation, and the fourth one is with the two parameters. So we'll see one by one. So by default, if you set the text field, it will go with the default size, which has been from the class itself. And the second one, we can mention like number of characters. So number of characters basically means that how many characters going to be visible on the screen. So that is called number of characters. And the third one, if you want to go with this default string that need to be appear on your screen while what do you say loading your form. So that time you can give the string. That is the third type of constructor. And the fourth type of constructor, if we go for it, where we can have two different types of parameters. One is the string, another one is the number of characters. So string is basically for giving the initial message, and number of characters going to be that how many characters that need to be visible on the screen. So that's what they are explaining here. The first version create a default text field, and the second version is going to create a text field with the number of characters y, and the third one which is going to indicate the text field with a string contained in the str, that is a default one, characters to be appeared on the text field, and the fourth one which is going to initialize with the text field, and it's also along with the width, that means the size. And the text field has two methods being most frequently used. One is the get text, another one is the set text. So get text method is basically if you want to get the data which has been already entered by the user. So just imagine the user is given username. So if you want to get that particular username has been entered by the user, you can use a method called get text, and through that we can able to retrieve the particular text has been already entered by the user. And the second one which is called set text. So set text is basically for if you want to create of your own text that need to be appear on the text field which has been created, so where you can go for using the set text method. And for the set text method we have a one parameter which is called a string, so where we can able to say include a string, so that is going to be the default value on the text field. Or maybe you can, after the event, if you want to put some text onto that particular text field, that is also possible, where you can use the set text method. Either by default you can use it, or if you want after the event being appear, if you want to add some text onto the text field, so there you can go for using the set text method. So it's all about text field. So the next one which is going to discuss on is a component class. So the component class is the what do you say top level of AWT hierarchy, where which will have the what do you say all your the components you're going to add into your graphical user interface, which is being utilized. So component is an abstract class that is encapsulate all the attributes of the visual component. So here with the visual components, what they are talking is nothing that your text field, your button, your what do you say, scroll bars, all those things are they are talking as a visual components. All user interface elements that are displayed on the screen that interact with the users of the subclass of the component. So I told it is a super class of all whatever the control which you're going to create on your program, that is going to be a subclass of this particular component. So it defines a public methods that are responsible for managing events such as mouse, keyboard, input, and positioning and sizing the window and repaint. Repainting it. So here, if you're seeing that normally whenever you are adding a component, you need to position it. So when you try to position it, where this particular component class is being adapted, where using this particular component class, we can able to add the events and we can able to delete the events, and even we can able to add the component in the sense the control they are talking. So all those things which can be done, as well as which is being used for mouse and keyboard related input which you are trying to give on it. And repainting, there is one more which is being called as a repainting. So repainting is basically nothing that normally if you go for a graphical user interface, you'll be doing some what do you say drawing, or if you're doing some textual work, and those works above that if you want to place something, so we need to clear it and then we have to go for using something else. So where the repainting has been used, so painting is basically for drawing something onto that graphical user interface, and repainting is mainly for clearing it, and then we can go for adding some more data into that. So where that repainting is being used, something like a clear screen which you'll be using in your normal console based program, so where so that it will be clear, all the contents being already appear on the screen. So similar kind of stuff is being adapted in the graphical user interface. It's been called as a repainting, right? So a component object is responsible for remembering the current foreground and background colors and currently selected text font. So again, one more thing, this component class is going to be playing vital role, where which is going to be remembering the current foreground and background colors of your screen which is being projected out, as well as which is going to be what do you say the text font. So these are the things going to be remembered by your component object. So because through that only we can able to identify what is the foreground, what is the background, as well as what is the font which has been a default one. That means default one which has been used in the operating system. Yes, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so can I proceed to the next?
Yes, sir.
So now for adding this particular component. So whenever you're trying to add any of the control into your program, so we have a method called add. Using this add method, we can able to add the component into the program which you're trying to do on it. So how will you do that? So there is a syntax for that. So add component and the component object. So using this, we can go for adding the particular component into the program. So here, so component object is an instant of a control that you want to add. So a reference to a component object has been returned. So once a control has been added, it will automatically visible to its parent window. It is displayed. So once you're adding that particular control, so either maybe a text box or maybe your button or maybe a scroll bar or maybe something else, whatever control they're trying to add on it, so which will be visible. So that only it will be visible. Otherwise, it won't be visible. Until otherwise you're not adding, it won't be visible. So, and again, while adding also you should be careful. So see to that your allowing proper order should be followed. So the reason behind it, for example, if you want the text field, if you are creating that should be appear first name, so you need to have an order. So in that order only you need to go for adding this particular method. So while adding, add of that particular object of the particular what do you say control. For example, if you are creating a text field called T1 and T2, T3, T4. So just imagine I want T3 should be appear first. That is the case, add of T3. Then you can go for add of T1, T2 and T4. So that it will be appearing in that order the way you have been using add method. So if you are interchanging it, what will happen accordingly the control will be get added into your screen and that will be visible. So while adding should be careful. So you need to adapt the proper order. So in that sequence only you'll be getting the output. So that is the most important thing. And similar way, this component class has one more method called remove method. Using this remove method, we can go for basically removing the control from the window, which is not needed actually. In case if it is not needed, we can go for using this particular method called remove. And this method also defined by a container. It has a general form. So remove and component object. So again, everything we need to use the object. So remove method basically is going to remove a specific what do you say control. Suppose if you want to remove the entire thing, irrespective of what do you say whatever control is being added, the entire thing should be removed. Where you can go for example remove all. So using this remove all method, we can able to remove the entire elements or sorry entire control which has been part of your window. So where you remove all has been get used. So now we'll go for the next control, which is called checkbox. So checkbox is basically if you want to have a multiple choice option that need to be given to the user, where we can go for using the control called checkbox. And for the control, we have a checkbox class, and along with that set of method is there. So we are going to discuss one by one. So now a checkbox is a control that has been used to turn on an option on or off, something like a switch on off. So in that way, we can able to do on it. It consists of a small box that can either contain a check marks or not. So something like a tick mark will be having it if you are selecting it. If you are unselecting it, the tick mark will be go off. So that is what the checkbox. And there is a label which has been associated with each checkbox that describe what option the box represents. So here the label which is going to be there along with the checkbox, which is indicate the name of it, so that only we can able to understand what is the purpose that checkbox being used. Otherwise, without a label, if you are giving, it is very difficult to understand. So that's why they are given the label along with that. So you can change the state of the checkbox by clicking on it. So if you want to change the state, so state in the sense on or off. So that means while clicking on it, there will be a tick mark which is called on, and again if you're if you're clicking on it, so the tick mark will go off. That is called that means not selected. So checkbox can be used individually or as part of group. So the checkbox has you can use it either individual checkboxes or we have one more class called checkbox group, and through that we can make as a group. So that means we can put it in one particular group, and in that group we can go for choosing on it. So either you can create a separate one or you can go for a put it in the group. So checkbox objects of the checkbox class. Now so we'll see there are 5 different types of constructor which has been part of this particular checkbox. So one is checkbox without a parameter, second one is the single parameter which is string, and the next one with the 2 parameters, and third one with the 3 parameters, and again the fifth one also with the 3 parameters. So we'll see one by one. So the first one, which is going to create a checkbox whose label is initially blank and the state of the checkbox has been unchecked. So here the label, without a label you are going to create on it, and this by default the checkbox has been unchecked. So that is the first type of constructor. And second one, which is having a label which has been associated with it. So by again this by default this checkbox has been unchecked because we are not given enabled option. Okay, so the third one, if you go for it, where again there'll be a, how to say, initial value which will be there, and along with that, here we can notice there is a second parameter which is being called as boolean on. So that means it is going to be by default it is enabled. So that is what it has been given. So if and true, the checkbox is initially checked, otherwise it has been cleared. So if you make this particular as a true, that means the boolean value as a true, then by default the checkbox will be put a tick mark. And if you are removing it, so that means if you are not mentioning anything, so by default it is off. That means false. And the next one with the 3 parameters, where we can have a text, and then we can mention what type of what do you say, whether it is true or false. And the third one, we can mention uh, what group it has been belongs to. So where we are going for the fourth type of one. So the fourth and fifth form creates checkbox whose label is specified by str and whose group is going to be specified by CP group. If this checkbox is not part of the group, then CP group must be null. Checkbox groups are described in the next. So we'll be discussing on the next say coming up slides. So the value of and determine initial state of the checkbox. So the value is going to be mentioned as the initial state of the checkbox. So here, if you see that there is a difference between the fourth and fifth one. The fourth one, where we'll be having initial text, and then we'll be enabling or disabling it. And then the last one we'll be going to mention which belongs to the group or not. But this last one, that means the fifth type of constructor, if you've seen that, the first one we are going to have a text, and then we are going to mention the group which is being belongs to this particular checkbox. Then finally we are going to enable on it. So that is what the difference between the fourth and the fifth one.
So, I didn't understand the difference, sir. Like,
You
how
didn't
is it
understand that?
different?
Yeah.
No.
See, the first one, what we are doing is individual text box. The individual text box, we are going to have the text along with the, we are going to enable or not. We are going to mention that whether by default it has been true or false. And then the last option, we are going to mention that which belongs to the particular group. But the second, that means the fifth one, where we have a text, and then we are going to mention that this particular checkbox belongs to that particular group, make it active or null. So that's what they are given. Initially, you can see this here in this checkbox group. Sorry, if this checkbox is not in the group, then CP group must be null. So where we have a provision stating that if you are mentioning as null, so this is not going to belong to this particular group. It is an normal one. So otherwise, we can mention this particular checkbox going to be belongs to this particular group, and after that we are going to mention that whether it has been true or false. But the previous one, where it is an individual state and then we are adding it to the group. But here initially we are adding it to the group, and then we are making the state either true or false. So that is what the difference. So first one, initially we are setting the state true or false, then putting into the group. Second one, initially we are putting into the group, and then later on we are going for making the changes under the that individual checkbox. So that is what the difference between fourth and fifth one. Is it clear? Megha, is it clear?
Yes, sir. I understood.
Right. Now, so we have a methods. We'll be discussing on the methods on the this particular checkbox. So one is called get state, another one is called set state, and get label and set label. So I already mentioned you in the beginning of the this particular graphical user interface class itself. I told here afterwards we'll be discussing on set and get methods frequently. So set label, set state, and get state, get text and set text. So all set and get method you'll be seeing throughout the this particular readability classes. Fine. So get state, it's clearly indicate that it's going to retrieve the state of the particular checkbox. So whether it is true or false. And if you want, you can make it using another method called set state. Through that, we can able to set the state of it. And similar way, if you want to get the label which has been associated with the checkbox, then we can go for using the get label. And similar way, if you want to set the label, we can use the method called set label, and through that we can able to set the label. And so these are the methods are being adapted for your checkbox. Already told you get state, set state, and get label, and set label. So there is an example which has been given here. You can just notice. So checkbox, and checkbox object is named as win95, and new checkbox windows comma null comma true. So this is the could you say the last parameter which you are discussing on it. So Windows 98 is the could you say caption which is being given for this particular checkbox, and by default has been put as a tick mark, and it does not belongs to any of the group. So that's why we have mentioned as null. So if it belongs to the group, then we have to mention the object name of the particular group, so that which will be taken to the particular group. So that's what they are trying to mean here. It's the one example for the checkbox. So now I'm moving towards the next one. So checkbox group. So already we had a checkbox. Now checkbox group. So it is possible to create a set of mutually exclusive checkboxes in which one and only one checkbox in the group can be checked at any time. So that's what there is a difference between checkbox and checkbox group. When you go for a checkbox group, where you can have a multiple options. So something like if you want to have a qualification, the person will have a qualification of BSc, and even some other qualification also, where it will be get enabled, and where they can put a tick mark. So multiple options have been enabled. But if you are putting in a group where user can go for, from the group they can choose only one option. So that is what the difference between checkbox group and checkbox. From the group you can choose only one item at a time. So these checkboxes are often called as radio buttons, because normally radio buttons only you will be having only one choice, right? So you cannot have more than one choice. So similar way, checkbox group also you have only one choice, not more than one choice. And create of set of mutually exclusive checkbox, you must first define the group to which they are belongs, and they specifically that group when you construct the checkboxes. So where you need to mention which one has to be enabled and which one to be disabled, you need to have a clear idea, so that only you can put it in the group and then we can enable on it. So checkbox groups are objects of type of checkbox group. Only the default constructor has been defined which create the empty group. So there is a default constructor, and through that we can go for creating the empty group. And if you want to know that which item has been selected from the checkbox group, where we have a method called get selected checkbox. So using get selected checkbox, we can able to basically get the currently selected item. So to check the checkbox by calling set selected checkboxes, using set selected checkbox, we can able to say able to set on it. So now we will see the example how it has been done. So there is a checkbox group, and they are creating an object called CBG. So that is called a checkbox group. And here we have two options. They are creating this. One is Win98 and Win90. So here we seeing that this is basically the next two are checkbox, and these two checkbox are being belongs to the particular group called CBG. Now Windows 98, that is in a caption, and CPG is basically is mentioned that I'm stating that this particular checkbox going to belongs to this particular group, and I'm making it enable true. And next one, which is Windows NT, new checkboxes Windows NT and CPG false. So now you can just notice it, only one thing has been enabled, so which is the first one, and the second has become false. So in this checkbox group, so only one can be make it as true, the remaining will be false. Is it clear? So only one item you can able to select at a time, not more than one choice. So when you're putting in a group, but when you go for the other one, it doesn't like that. So we can able to go for selecting multiple items. So that is what the difference between these two. So there was one question which I got it. The question is how to get the value associated with the checkbox. How to get the value associated with the checkbox. So for that reason only we are going for using the what do you say that label, because it's a label, right? So you can see the previous one. So where that label is being there. So set label and get label. So using get label method, we can able to get the value which has been associated with the particular what do you say checkbox. Is it clear? I think I have answered the question. Yes. Using get label method, because when are you going for creating any of the checkbox, there will be a label which has been associated with that. So that is actually a value. So that if you want to get on it, so you can use that what do you say get label method, and through that we can able to what do you say get on
Hello,
it.
sir. Sir, sir, that label is the text that is visible beside the text checkbox, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but that can be, the value can be different from that, right? So suppose if it is gender, male, female, and others, so we that label will be as MALE, FEMALE, and the value can be different, right? Like 0, 1, -1. So
No, no.
how that
See,
is done, sir?
normally, no. The label, which is nothing that the individual label of that particular, what do you say, checkbox which you're creating on it. It is not that you're talking about that common label. It's not a common label. Common label is different. That label, it won't come in under this. So when are you going for creating a checkbox, so which is associated with that one label, which will be creating it. So that means that's what mail. That means we'll be having that values. Okay. So the common one, which is called, for
Okay.
example, gender. Gender is the common one. Gender is the common one. Okay. So
Yes.
that is a common label. But
Yes.
male or female, these are the two choices. So out of that one, he has to, what do you say, they have to opt for it. So when they opt for it, that what do you say, checkbox associated value, one is male, another one is female. So that is the one I'm talking about. So using get label, we can able to retrieve that particular one. Are
So,
you
but
able to get it?
no, sir. The label text and the value can be different, right, sir? Like
How come the
different,
value will be,
like,
how come the value will be different?
sir. Suppose like we have three radio buttons or checkbox. So first is for male, second is for female, third is for others. So
Yeah,
and
transgender.
yeah. So
Okay.
the label you're talking about is that will be visible, right? Male, female to the
Yes,
user,
yes.
or yeah. So and the value can be different, right, sir? Like it is
I
not
mean,
necessary
you're
that you
thinking
have,
that the user can choose a different value. That's what you're talking, right?
yeah, no, value that will be sent to the backend if you are storing, like,
Okay.
yeah. So that can be different, right? Otherwise we'll be forced to use the same value as the label, right? We can't put like, if label and value is separate, then we can do the like value that is smaller in size, like 0, 1, -1, we can use to represent male, female, and others, instead of using MALE, FE, female, and the spellings.
Okay. Fine. So now
So
that
like,
is the case. What is do? You have to generate logic for it. So first thing is you need to identify which one has been enabled. Okay. Because during the runtime, the user can go
yes,
for
sir.
opting for anything, either maybe male or female or maybe a transgender. So based on the
Yes,
selection,
sir.
first we need to go for which one has been get selected by the user. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we have to get the source. There is a method called get source, which will be getting the source of the particular control which has been what do you say, selected by the user.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it? Yeah. After that, we have a
So
method called get select. Yeah. Tell me.
so like
So
that we have to do, that logic we have to write by yourself, right? For the this
yes,
thing.
yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So the
Yes.
logic you need to write on it, because here basically it is going to get the label which has been associated with the a particular what do you say checkbox. Now, if you want to get that value which has been different mean, what you have to do, you need to identify which was being selected by the user, and then for that internally you need to what do you say, get the label, and then for that you need to assign some other value. That means whatever value you want to have it, so that you can store it in some
Okay.
array, or maybe in backend or whatever way you can store it. From there you can retrieve and then you can display on it. So that means
Okay, sir.
basically you need to have some logic
Yes.
to fetch that particular thing. Okay, because it's an internal, it is not going
Okay.
to project out outside. So those things you need to keep it internally in your either in your program using array or some other mechanism. You need to use it, store the particular value, and then based on the source is being chosen by the or selected by the user, then you have to fetch it, and for that corresponding matching you have to check it in the already existing list, and that need to be projected out. So that is the way only you can bring out the result.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting it?
Thank you. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So we were discussing on a checkbox group. So checkbox group is over. Now the next one, which is called a choice. So choice is basically it's a I would say multiple list. So that means basically it is going to be a pop-up list where we can have a list of items, and from there the user can go for either choosing a single, or even the user can go for multiple also. So that provision is being given for the choice. Now, so in the choice, control is nothing but a form of a menu. The choice is only define the default constructor, so which will be having a what do you say, empty list. And again, I already told you, so when you're going for adding this particular control, we have to use the add method, and through that we can go for adding it. And for adding the data into that particular choice, where we'll be adapting a method called add item. So through this add item, we can go for what do you say, adding the item into the choice list. So that's what the two method is being given over here in this particular slide. So add item is basically you're going to add the data into that particular choice. Is going to create on it. Choice basically it's kind of a menu. And here, if you see that there is a parameter which is being given, which is nothing but a string parameter. Basically, it's going to mention what is the item that you're going to be added into the list. And once you add the list into the item, so if you want to retrieve that particular item, so where we can go for using the method called get selected item, or we will be using a method called get selected index. So get selected item is basically nothing that the particular item which has been already existing on the particular list. Or if, instead of that, if you want to, you can go for another option called get selected index. So based on the index, you can go for choosing the method. So either method you can use it. Either you can go for get selected item, and through that you can directly select the item, or we can go for using the index. So based on the index position, we can go for say getting the particular item. So, and again, I already told you, so similar way they will be having a set method. So set selected item, or we can have a set selected index. So these two methods are being used. So is it clear? Choice is clear. Maybe later on I'll go for giving the example, one what do you say, complete form example. Through that I'll
Yes. Yes, sir.
explain you, so that it will be more clear for you. Okay, now I'm explaining it, and I'll give one practical program, so through that I'll explain. Okay.
Sir, is choice basically a Dropbox type?
Yeah, it's a Dropbox. So it's a drop down menu where you'll be having that list of items will be what do you say, listed out, and from there you can go for choosing the single item. So if you are using a shift, using shift you can go for selecting the items, or if you want to have a multiple item, so where you can use that what do you say, control also, and distinguish items. For example, 1 3 5 7, or it may be 1 2 and 6 7. So like that, if you want to go for selecting on it, where you can use the control, and through that we can select the multiple items.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And the next one, which you're going to have a list. So the list also, it is in a multiple choice scrolling what do you say, selection list. So the previous one, if you see, into something like a kind of a pop-up menu, and from there you can have a list of items. But this one is something like a scrolling list. So it's also, I would say, almost similar, but there is a small variations which has been there. So here we can have one more option also, multiple choice, and there also we have multiple choice. But there it is basically something like a pop-up menu. That means it will be projected out, and from there you can see the list. But here it is like it will be what do you say, embedded into that screen itself, so you can see the list of items. So that is what the basic difference between what do you say, choice and the list. And list objects can be constructed to show any number of choice in the visible window, and it can also be allowed to say multiple selections. And the list also provide there are three different types of constructor, where one is the without a parameter, and second one is the with a single parameter, and third one with the two parameters. So basically the first one, which is has a no parameter at all, that means you're not going to restrict that number of items you're going to create on it. And second one, you can see that number of rows, that means how many items you're going to have it, so which should be visible on the screen. Doesn't mean that only you are restricting it, you are going to mention that number of rows which will be visible on the screen. Okay, maybe for example, if you want to make it only 10 items should be visible, and the remaining will be hidden behind, so that if you there will be a scroll bar which will be up here, so through that you can able to scroll down, and you can able to see on the remaining item which is being basically unhidden at the beginning. And the third one, where we have a one option which is being called as a multiple select. So number of rows you can mention it, as well as we can have the boolean value enable or disable. So boolean value what is enable means we can go for multiple items can be selected at a time. If you are disabling it, where we cannot select on it. So that is what the difference. So here you have a provisions. You can mention that if multiple selection option, if you are enabling it, then you can go for the third type of constructor, where you can mention that it has been enabled. Otherwise, it will become disabled. So, and again, one more thing, students notice, by default, this multiple choice which will be disabled. Until otherwise, you are going for a third type of constructor, there only which will come into play, and there you have to mention that whether you are going for enabling it or disabling it. Okay. And for this again, we have two methods. Add method. So add method is basically, I already told you, you can go for adding the particular item. And here while adding, this is what the difference between the previous one and this one. Here while adding, we can directly add on it. So when you're adding it, a particular item which will be go into the list by default. That means, for example, already 4 items are added, so this is going to be the 5th item. But there is a provision which has been given for the user. You can mention where you want to add on it. So that means instead of adding at the end, I want to add at the middle, or I want to add at the beginning. So there I have another option which is being called as string name, comma, what do you say, integer index. So here the index is basically nothing that I can push specify the index position, and through that I can go for adding an item. So that is what the difference between these two add methods. I think you understand the difference between the first one and the second one. So the first one, it will be get added according to the sequence, and the second one where I can specify which place I want to add on it. So basically I'm going to give the index position. And there is an example which is being given for the list creation. So list OS new list of 4 comma true. So 4 is nothing that it's the last one which is being given. So 4 is nothing that now 4 rows, that means the 4 items you're going to create on it, and multiple choices being enabled. So true.
Sir, if you're not giving the index, then usually where it will get stored, sir, at the starting or at the beginning, like default, where it will?
At the end, at the end, at the end. Just imagine already you have 3 items that have been added. Now this is going to be the 4th item, means it will be at the end, the last. That means the 4th item is going to be the 4th item.
Okay, sir.
If you are mentioning the index, so I can specify the position, setting that I want to add it at 1, or I want to add it at 2. So I can specify the index position so that in that particular place it will be get added. So that is what the difference.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Can I know the time? 1 minute. The time is there still? 11:44.
11:46.
Okay. So another 10 minutes, then after that I'll wind up my class. Okay. So the next one which I'm going to discuss on is nothing but a panel. So panel is basically nothing but a container. So where you can able to place all your controls. So that is what the panel is being used. So a panel is nothing but a class. This is a concrete subclass of container, and does not add any new methods. We cannot add any new method because basically it's a container. So it simply implements container. It's going to just implement the containers. A panel may be thought of as a recursively nestable concrete screen component, so which is a superclass of applet. So when you're going for using any of the applet, so panel is going to be a superclass. So then you'll be having how the panel looks. So panel looks like a plain, I would say empty window, plain empty window. On that you can put a container, and then you can go for adding the would say control, whatever control onto that. Maybe I can give you another example. Panel which is something like would you say whenever you're going for adding a putting item into the normal, I'm talking about not in technical terms, in normal. So you can just imagine a container. So the container in the sense where you can dump your items, dump your what do you say items into that particular container. So we need to have a shape, right? A box shape should be there, and you should have open and close, all those specifications. So that is basically a panel. So you are setting up a panel, and then you are making something like a container. And then once you made as a container, you can go for adding the what do you say components or a control into that. So while adding the control, you can place on it wherever you want. You can able to place on it. So that is what this particular panel does. So when screen output is directed to an applet, it draws an surface of panel object. So when you are directing the output, so which will be drawing on that particular surface of the panel. So panel is a window that does not contain a title bar, menu bar, or border. So it doesn't contain anything. It's something like a panel. Okay. So maybe a switchboard panel. They may be talking about switchboard panel. So switchboard panel is something like a plain one. It's a plain, would you say, surface. On that only you can would you say design on where you're going to place on your switches. So something similar kind of thing, which is a panel. So component can be added to a panel object by using a method called add. And again, which has been inherited from the container, because container is going to be a superclass. And once these components have been added, you can position and resize them manually using set location, set size, or set bounds method. So here there are three methods you can see. One is set location, set size, and set bounds. So set location is basically nothing that where you want to locate on. So whether it is in 10, 10 or 100, 100 or whichever would you say place. And next one, set size, basically nothing that the size of the panel window which you're going to create on. So whether you want to go for a 300 by 300 or 500 by 500 or 1024 by 768, so all those things we can able to decide upon. So where the set size method is being used. Or we can have one more method called set bounds. So set bounds is basically nothing that you can create a boundary for that. So once you create a boundary, so within the boundary only we can able to play around. So where that set bounds method is being used. So these are the three methods are being part of this particular panel. And now this is an example of the panel. So sorry. So panel, there is an object called OS cards and new panel off. So now panel is going to create an empty blank window. On that next one we have to mention the layout. So which layout that you're going to have it. So basically I already told you the layout manager, we had a discussion, right? So which layout you are going for it. So here they are mentioning they are going for a card layout. So for card layout, again they are creating an object, and then now using this particular object there is a method called set layout, and through that way they are setting the layout. So now we can understand the panel is going to be a container. On that we are going to set the layout. So in which layout, that means you are creating a layout. Basically layout manager is to play around or keep around all these components. So for that the card layout has been used. So this is all about a panel. I think you understand what is panel and how to create on it. So the next one is scroll pan. So with this, before moving to this particular scroll pan, I'm just stopping this. I think the time is only 2 more minutes is left. So if there is any questions, you can ask me so that I can clarify your doubts. Any questions, students?
So it would be good if examples are given, sir.
Which one?
Like whatever we learned today, the checkbox, choices, list, panels, and all. It would be good if it would be explained with some example, like for more understanding.
So, Yeah, so first I'll explain all the controls. Then once it is over, then I'll go for giving one example where I'll be incorporating all this. That means basically I'm going to create a one form. So in that form, it will contain all these things so that it will be clear for you. Okay, so in that way I'm going to make it. So first I'm taking you theoretically all these controls. Then finally I'm going for giving an example. Is
Okay,
it
sir.
fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is a question which has been asked about practical. So regarding the practical, again, so I'll be sharing the programs through Google Classroom, and then we'll be having a practical class also. That means practical class in the sense I'll be what do you say, showing your programs, and through that I'll be start explaining you. Okay, so the program will be explaining you, and then you what do you say, use your system and to explain and see how it's working. And those are having laptop and those are having PC, you can download what do you say, your Eclipse or NetBeans, and then you can just work on the particular program. And those who doesn't have it, okay, those who doesn't have it, so don't worry. If you go to that web browser, so there is a web browser itself, you have a editor platform is there where you can type your Java program and then execute and see in a virtual environment. You doesn't need to have that particular tool to what do you say, work on your mobile. So you can go to browser and they are enabled with that. So you can what do you say, go into that and you can type your Java program directly and then execute and see the output. So which is very much possible. It's been available, and those environment you can utilize and then you can execute and see your programs. So don't think that we don't have any other provisions. So there is a possibility which is being available. So on the web browser itself, and you can what do you say, compile and execute your program, which is very much available. And maybe during the next class I can share you that web browser option how to do on it. So those who doesn't have that particular system. Okay, so any other doubts? So do you have any other doubts?
No, sir.
No. Okay, so is it clear? Right. So good to see you all back. So nice to see you all back, and try to I already told you, so try to attend all the classes here afterwards, and they'll be covering the entire syllabus. So don't say waste, and see to that you are attending all the sessions, which is going to be really help you out, and you can learn all the concepts of say subjects theoretically, and then practical also will be taking on it. Um, See to that whatever schedule is being given at here, and go on time, so don't be late. And if at all if you are not able to attend the classes, so please do inform me as well as inform head of the department also for what reason that you couldn't able to join the class. So because this is the attendance we are taking it, and this attendance will be get monitored. So already I told you, according to the say UGC guidelines, we are start taking the classes, and we need to maintain the attendance percentage also. That's the reason why we are taking attendance, and overall is attending, that will be considered. And overall is not attending, so again their attendance say percentage also is being get calculated. So see to that if you are, if at all if you are not able to attend the class, so see to that you are informing the concerned faculty members as well as head of the department, so that it's become mandatory. Got it? Yeah.
Okay,
So
sir.
once again, thank you all. Stay safe, stay home. Um, we will see you on tomorrow class. Okay. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Bye,
Bye, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Abbas, you can stop
Bye-bye.
the recording. Abbas, yeah. Stop the
Yes,
recording.
yes, sir. Wait.
And Jerry, after this class, can you just call me? I
Yes,
need
sir.
to discuss on, yeah. Before closing, I want to appreciate uh, Abbas as well as Jerry for helping out for the international conference. So it was went on really well, and many of the participants, they appreciated the conference, the way we organized. So even though during the pandemic time, it has been organized well. So I need to thank what do you say, Jerry, for designing the posters and designing the backdrops for the individual sessions. It was really come out very well. Professionally, it has been designed. So give him the big round of applause for the jury for doing that particular wonderful job. And along with that, Even Abbas also, he has collected all your data for the previous month, whichever I would say online classes as well as certification courses and other things which you have done it. So that I got it along with the proof, and he has collated and all those things, and he has given to me. So once again, give him a big round of applause to I would say Abbas also.